Welcome back. Let's see what else we can find here in Eder Kemo. Where haven't we been yet? Well, we haven't been down there. We go down the stairs here, we come to an area with another type of plant. Seem to be spewing spores of some kind. Interesting looking plant. And there's another gazebo here. And a journey cloth. Cleverly hidden to the side of the gazebo. And there's another tunnel here with some more of those baroglyphs up there. And if we continue down here, we come out at the little pond we could see from the beginning. That's where we linked into the age, up there. And after that is a little cave with a linking book back to Eder Kemo. But we're not finished here yet, so we're not going to use it yet. Let's just walk back. There's two more things of interest here. One is rather hard to get to, unfortunately, because is there actually any place where I can see that? Not really, apparently. Well, you're gonna have to take my word for it, because there is a Relto page up on this platform. Which is unfortunately rather complicated to get to. So I need to jump on this stone. Oh, I did it in one time. I've never actually managed that before. And then jump over here. And there's another Relto page. I've honestly never succeeded in doing that jump in one attempt. So that saves us some time. Let's see if we can get a closer look at those baroglyphs up there. Well, there's not an awful lot I can make of those, but there is a notebook hidden here. It's another one of these DRC notebooks, just a regular notebook. And it says on the cover, Shomat's story. Oh, let's read this notebook. It's not that long. The story of Shomat, taken from book 43C. We have yet to name it. Translation, Nick. Well, Nick is the translator that also worked with Douglas Sharper, as we saw in Sharper's journal in Teledan. First draft. At the age of 121, Shomat had resided in his palace of the kings for 20 years. Though the palace had taken 45 years to construct, and new additions had been added every year, Shomat was still not pleased with all that surrounded him. His palace was larger than any structure in the city, and the gardens of his palace were more beautiful than any other living plants that the people had ever known. But Shomat demanded more from those who created his home and his gardens. Shomat sent messengers demanding that Limash, the head, this word seemed to define some kind of leader of the servants, although they never defined them as servants. Have to ask Dr. Watson. Of his palace come to his gardens immediately, and Limash obeyed. Yes, my king, what is it that you require of me? Do you see these bulbs of orange and leaves of brown that surround me? Of course, my king. They are unlike any that dwell in this cavern. Do you see the intricate stone that surrounds me? Asked Shomat. Of course, again there is none like them in this cavern. And Shomat suddenly became angry, cursing at his servants, not really servants, but it'll have to do, and screaming at those in his presence. Who do you think that I am? Do you think I have never used the books to see the beauty that lies outside this cavern? I have written these books myself, even while you have seen me trained by the Grand Master. And yet you act as though I should be pleased at the beauty that now surrounds me. Beauty that comes only from this cavern of no light, no warmth, and no color. Do you think stone and darkness are all that I require? Who do you think that I am? My king, what is it that you ask of me? Bring to me Grand Master Kenry. Together you will work in a writing sense, with him, and create for me real beauty, roaring water, colors beyond imagination, living creations, not stone. These are the gardens that I demand. Now go and bring them to me. And so Limesh went to Kenry, Grand Master of the Guild of Writers, and together they created an age with beauty that was beyond that which any man had seen before. And together they brought their king to the age, 8 months, these are Dunny months, after his request had been made. Shomat was pleased with all that he saw, broad leaves of green and yellow, flowers of every color, and roaring waters of blue and turquoise like the most colorful stones of Dunny. And he promoted Limesh, as he was already head, I'm not sure about his promotion, but the word is fairly clear, and made Kenry his most prized Grand Master in all of Dunny. Shomat spent every day on his new age, and he asked for more of them, and he asked his architects to provide structures on these ages. And while this happened, Shomat's brothers continued to grow more jealous, and their anger turned to rage. They had not been invited to live in the palace of their brother, and now, though multitudes of common citizens were invited to the gardens of Shomat, never once were they allowed to visit, and their hearts burned toward their king and brother. So it was that Shomat was sitting alone in his garden age, when 2 creatures approached him. Though they resembled men, they walked on their arms and legs and moved quickly. Shomat was frightened upon seeing the creatures, and immediately called for his guards. The creatures ran from the guards, but Shomat ordered his guards to follow them, and the guards obeyed. It was not until the next day that they returned. They claimed they had seen a city with hundreds of these creatures living in it, conversing with one another, and organizing armies. These armies lived inside of the garden age of Shomat, and Shomat was very afraid. Shomat ordered the men who had seen the village to be put in prison, not sure if book or physical prison, for what they saw, and he called his most trusted advisor, Limesh, to his residence in the city. Upon hearing of the creatures and their organization, Limesh too was frightened. We have no choice but to burn the book, Limesh recommended. You know this age is not ours, if it is already inhabited. You know the rules of our writing, and of our books, and of our people. But Shomat's heart was not moved by the words of Limesh, and he grew more angry and enraged. The world was created by me, for me. If there are others who exist, they will have to be killed. It is Dunny now. So Shomat ordered for his brothers to be brought into his palace, and he informed them of his dilemma. Shomat asked his brothers if they would kill those who lived on his garden ages, and he bribed them with talk of power and authority. And so they agreed, even though they hated their brother. And the brothers of Shomat traveled through the age, and went to the creatures to destroy them. But in talking with the creatures, they became convinced that the creatures should not be killed, but instead they should be used to destroy their brother. And so they devised a plan to kill their brother the king. While Shomat waited in his palace in the city, his brothers appeared to him. "We have finished," they announced. "The creatures are all dead." Shomat was pleased to hear such words from his brothers, and on the outside he showed love to them. "My brothers, I have done much wrong to you. There have been many times that I have not treated you like even those who work in my palace. And I am sorry for these actions. But today you have proven that you do not hold anger like I do. You are better than me. You have shown me favor, and so I ask of you to accept what I have to offer you. Please accept this gift." And Shomat gave his brothers a linking book. Its pages were filled with descriptions of beauty and life, like Shomat's own garden age. "And it will be kept here in this palace, where you will live now." Filled with pleasure and forgetting their hate for Shomat, his brothers went to the age quickly, and it was there that they died, thinking that they had fooled their brother. Shomat burnt the book in his own fire, forever erasing his brothers and their deceit from his mind. And Shomat ordered the Grand Master to change his garden age, so that those who lived there would die. And Kenry obeyed the king, even though he knew it was wrong, and his life was filled with turmoil until he died. But Shomat, though he did what was wrong, continued to live and pursue all that he wanted. The story continues, but it seemed a good point to stop. I'd like to go over this a few more times with some better translators, maybe even Dr. Watson. I filled in a lot of words as best I could for now. Okay, well that finishes the story of King Shomat, and we will continue in the next video.